So a few days ago, I was talking to a young adult, and I was surprised when he told me that he never reads the Old Testament. He loves his faith, he loves Jesus, but he just doesn't see what the Old Testament or any of its characters has to do with him today. And he was missing a very valuable point that the church teaches with all of her wisdom, that the Old Testament is fulfilled in the New, and that the New Testament is hidden in the Old. And we see that in some of the basic and most popular Old Testament figures, one of which is Moses. Now, Moses in the New Testament is mentioned more than any other Old Testament figure, which is pretty cool. But what's even more amazing is that Moses foreshadows Jesus coming into our life. That both Moses and Jesus survived an infanticide. Both went to the desert in preparation to serve the Lord, Moses for 40 years, Jesus for 40 days. And then both brought freedom to the people. Moses obviously to the Israelites, and Jesus brought people out of bondage from their sin. And we might be thinking like, that's really cool, but what does that have to do with us today? Well, for us, what that means is that we can look to our past to give us faith to move forward into our future. That our God is a deliverer, that he's a game changer, he's a way maker. In the same way that God used Moses to bring the Israelites to freedom, Jesus Christ can move in our life today. As we prepare for Christmas, he can begin to move in our hearts in ways that brings us freedom, that brings us peace, that brings us joy, that brings us love. Our God is an amazing God, and we see that all the way back in the Old Testament, and we can see it today. And when that truth lands on us, it changes everything. So as we prepare for Christmas, we can look to our past, we can look to how God moved in the Old Testament and find faith to move us forward. That our faith is not just a God in the present, but a God who's been working since the beginning of time for people like you and for me so that we can have a better relationship with him in freedom. And for people like you and me, that's great news.